General Hospital spoilers. Portia's pregnancy lie. Claims Curtis is the father? Port Charles has always been a city full of secrets, betrayals, and shocking family twists, but this latest General Hospital storyline involving Portia Robinson, Brooke Kerr, threatens to unravel everything she's fought to build. New spoilers hint that Portia's long-buried secret is about to explode, a secret so dangerous that it could destroy her marriage, her relationship with her daughter Trina, and her professional reputation at the hospital.
And at the center of the storm? A pregnancy that may not be what it seems.
For months, Portia Robinson has been walking on eggshells, trying to hold her family together while silently watching Curtis Ashford, Donald Turner, struggle with his recovery after the Metro Court shooting. Curtis's paralysis devastated him physically and emotionally. Despite the medical support, his spirit has been broken. His once unstoppable determination has been replaced with resentment, guilt, and pain.
Portia has been trying to keep hope alive, but the cracks are showing.
The passion that once bound them has been replaced with arguments, awkward silences, and emotional distance. According to General Hospital insiders, Portia's latest crisis begins after a mysterious medical episode, a dizzy spell at the hospital, followed by fainting in front of Liz and Finn.
Tests are run.
A stunned Portia is later seen alone in an exam room, clutching a pregnancy test in disbelief.
She's pregnant.
But as the truth sinks in, Portia's horror deepens. She hasn't been intimate with Curtis in months.
The timing doesn't add up.
The name that fans have been buzzing about is Isaiah Henderson, portrayed by a newly introduced actor whose charisma is already stirring social media chatter. Isaiah, a WSB-linked physical therapist, arrived in Port Charles months ago as part of Curtis's rehabilitation team. Isaiah's chemistry with Portia was immediate but unspoken. She admired his strength and optimism, traits that reminded her of the man Curtis used to be before tragedy struck. During one particularly emotional evening after Curtis suffered a setback, Portia broke down.
Isaiah comforted her.
What began as a moment of vulnerability became a night of forbidden passion that she's regretted every day since. Now, weeks later, the result of that night may be growing inside her. When Portia learns she's pregnant, she faces an impossible choice. Should she tell Curtis the truth, that she may be carrying another man's child, or protect him from another devastating betrayal? The memory of the Trina paternity scandal still haunts her. Years ago, Portia kept it secret that Curtis might be Trina's father.
That lie shattered their relationship when it came to light.
It took years for Curtis to forgive her, and even then, their marriage has been hanging by a thread.
Portia can't bear to lose him again.
So, she makes a choice, one that will set off a chain reaction through Port Charles.
She decides to claim the baby as Curtis's.
The first person to sense something off is Elizabeth Weber, Rebecca Herbst. Having been through countless hospital dramas, Liz knows when a colleague is hiding something. When she overhears Portia on a hushed phone call with Isaiah, no one can ever know.
Not now. Not ever.
Liz's intuition flares. She confronts Portia gently, trying to offer support, but Portia lashes out defensively. Liz confides in Finn, who warns her to stay out of it. Still, Liz can't ignore her instincts, especially when she notices Portia's anxiety around Isaiah and her inconsistent medical reports. Rumors start swirling among GH staff, and before long, Curtis himself begins to suspect that something's wrong. Curtis's rehabilitation has been brutal. Though his paralysis remains partially treatable, his recovery has plateaued. His pride is wounded, his sense of masculinity challenged. When Portia tearfully reveals she's pregnant, Curtis's initial reaction is disbelief, followed by pure joy.
He feels alive again.
For the first time in months, he has hope. A baby, Portia? Our baby? This changes everything, he whispers, tears streaming down his face. Portia forces a smile, clutching his hand, guilt gnawing at her from within. But her joy is fragile. Curtis's family, including Aunt Stella and Marshall, begin celebrating the miracle baby.
Trina, however, feels something's off.
Trina Robinson, Tabianana Ali, has learned the hard way that her mother's secrets always come with consequences. When she hears about the pregnancy, she's happy, but skeptical. The timing doesn't make sense to her.
She knows how distant her mother and Curtis have been.
And when she catches Isaiah and Portia in a tense hallway conversation, alarm bells go off. Trina confides in Spencer, Nicholas Chavez, soon returning to the role in a surprise comeback, who encourages her to trust her gut. If something doesn't add up, Trina, it probably doesn't. But as Trina begins to dig into Isaiah's background, and discovers he's been spending late nights at the hospital with Portia, she begins to uncover pieces of the puzzle her mother has been desperately trying to hide. The storyline takes a dramatic turn when Portia undergoes prenatal testing, something Curtis insists upon due to their shared medical history. Terrified, Portia scrambles to alter the results. Using her medical access, she tries to falsify the paternity report to ensure it identifies Curtis as the father. However, her tampering doesn't go unnoticed. Britt Westbourne's old digital access logs, restored by the hospital IT department, flag Portia's suspicious activity. Epiphany's memorial system upgrades uncover a digital footprint leading back to Portia's terminal. And who discovers it first?
Monica Quartermain.
Monica, as the hospital board chair, summons Portia for a private meeting. "You've always been a fine doctor, Portia," she says gravely. "But whatever you're hiding, it will come out. And when it does, it won't just cost you your career."
Portia leaves shaken.
The next major bombshell comes when Curtis accidentally overhears a heated conversation between Portia and Isaiah in the hospital stairwell. Isaiah begs her to tell the truth. "Portia, I won't live a lie. If this baby is mine, I have a right to be part of its life." Portia, panicking, pleads with him to keep quiet.
Curtis can't know. Not now.
It would destroy him. But before she can say more, Curtis's wheelchair rolls out of the shadows. His face is pale, trembling with rage.
"Destroy me," he says coldly. "You already have."
The aftermath is explosive. Curtis storms out of the hospital, ignoring everyone's calls. He feels humiliated, betrayed, and emasculated all over again, the very emotions he's spent months trying to heal from. Back home, he destroys the framed sonogram Portia gave him, screaming into the empty house. When Trina arrives, she finds him shattered, both physically and emotionally. "Every time I start to believe in her again," he tells Trina bitterly, "she reminds me who she really is." Trina, torn between loyalty to both parents, demands answers from her mother.
Portia finally confesses everything. But instead of comfort, she's met with disgust. Trina's fury is volcanic.
"You never learn, do you, Mom?
You lied about me. You lied about Curtis.
And now you're lying to yourself if you think you're still the victim here." Portia collapses in tears, realizing she's lost both Curtis and Trina in one blow. Meanwhile, Isaiah becomes an unlikely hero. Instead of fleeing Port Charles, he decides to come clean to Curtis. He visits him at the Savoy, where Curtis has retreated, drinking alone. "I never meant to hurt you," Isaiah says quietly.
"But I won't let Portia take all the blame.
What happened was my fault too." Curtis listens, silent and still. His rage simmers, but there's something in Isaiah's sincerity that disarms him. "You didn't betray me," Curtis finally says. "She did." This marks a turning point in Curtis's journey, a return to emotional strength. But for Portia, it's the beginning of a personal and professional collapse. When Monica learns the full extent of Portia's deception, including the falsified DNA results, she is left with no choice but to suspend Portia pending an ethics review. The story leaks to the invader, courtesy of an anonymous tip, likely from someone in the hospital IT department. Within hours, the headline spreads like wildfire. GH doctor fakes paternity results in love triangle scandal.
Portia becomes a pariah overnight.
Colleagues avoid her, patients cancel appointments, and reporters swarm outside her home.
Trina, mortified, stops speaking to her altogether.
But the twist doesn't end there, because as the pregnancy progresses, new medical complications arise that force everyone back together. Months later, Portia collapses during rounds. She's rushed to the emergency room, where Liz and Finn determine she's suffering from severe preeclampsia, a life-threatening condition that could kill both mother and child. Curtis arrives moments before surgery, conflicted but still deeply caring. Despite everything, he can't let her die. In an emotionally charged scene, he takes her hand before she's wheeled into the operating room. "I don't know if this babe is mine," he says, tears in his eyes, "but I do know this, you're still the woman I once loved. And I won't let you go like this." The surgery is tense, the monitors beeping as Finn fights to save her. After hours of uncertainty, Portia survives. The baby, a little boy, is born premature but alive. When Finn brings out the newborn, Curtis holds him for the first time. In that moment, the anger fades. A few days later, the DNA results return, this time legitimate, verified by an independent lab. Curtis opens the envelope in silence, Portia watching from her hospital bed.
The truth hits him like a bullet. The baby is not his. He stands motionless, tears welling in his eyes. Portia begins to cry softly, whispering, "I'm sorry, Curtis.
I thought I was protecting you." Curtis replies quietly, "You were protecting yourself." He walks out, leaving her shattered. When Trina meets her newborn half-brother, she's conflicted. The baby is innocent, a living reminder of betrayal, but also of forgiveness. Over time, Trina softens. She visits Portia in recovery, still angry but compassionate.
"Mom," she says quietly, "you keep breaking the people you love. But this time, you have a chance to build something new.
Don't waste it." It's the olive branch Portia has been praying for. As for Curtis, he begins a new chapter, focusing on the Savoy, his rehabilitation, and rediscovering who he is outside of the chaos. There are hints of new romantic possibilities down the line, perhaps even with Jordan, Brianna Nicole Henry, rumored to return. Isaiah, meanwhile, decides to leave Port Charles to join a WSB medical unit abroad.
Before leaving, he visits Portia one last time.
"I'll always care about you," he tells her softly.
"But you need to heal from more than just this lie.
You need to forgive yourself."
Portia nods through tears.
"Maybe someday," she says. After he leaves, she looks at her son, the child who forced her to confront her darkest truth, and vows to change. Spoilers tease that this storyline will carry into 2026, intertwining with other major arcs, including the return of Nicholas Cassadine, Trina's continued relationship with Spencer, and the deepening ties between the Ashford and Robinson families. Fans speculate that Portia's baby could one day play a crucial role in uniting a fractured family, or reopening old wounds when he learns the truth about his origins. Brooke Kerr's performance has reportedly been so powerful during this arc that insiders say Emmy buzz is already building around her name. As one source teased, "This isn't just about a pregnancy. It's about generational lies, forgiveness, and the cost of loving someone too much to tell them the truth." Portia's pregnancy lie may go down as one of General Hospital's most explosive storylines in years. It revisits themes that have defined the show: love, deception, and the gray area between right and wrong.
Fans are divided.
Some believe Portia deserves redemption, that her actions, though wrong, came from love. Others argue that she's crossed too many lines and should face lasting consequences. Either way, one thing's for sure: this storyline ensures that General Hospital's heart still beats with the same unpredictable rhythm that's kept viewers hooked for decades. In the end, as Portia looks out her hospital window, holding her newborn, she whispers to herself, "Maybe the truth doesn't set you free. Maybe it just gives you the strength to face what comes next."
And in Port Charles, truth is always just the beginning.